Passive income made easy. Our big top 10 peer-to-peer loan rating with transparent criteria is getting 2 new platforms and others are being thrown out of the window. You can find out which ones they are and who, in our opinion, offers the best return and smallest risk in this new video from Northern Finance. My name is Alex Black. Yes, and I've been investing into peer-to-peer lending for over 10 years now and have more than 50,000 invested, and we will briefly present the rating criteria and then get started right away. We have 8 transparent criteria in which we score these platforms today. There's a maximum of 5 points for the age, 1 point per year, and 5 points for the number of investors, 1 point per 10,000 investors. The first 2 indicators roughly represent the experience and size of the platform itself, and then there are 10 points each for an audited financial statement and the profitability, both of which are signs for investors that things will continue here in the long term and that the platform is just on the right track, let's say. A maximum of 10 points is awarded if the platform is regulated, and the maximum of 20 points is given for important features such as the secondary market, auto-invest, plenty of international translations of the user interface, and the tax report itself is also essential. A maximum of 20 points is also awarded for the solvency as well as for growth and current developments, which gives us a total of 100 possible points. To the right of this, we will also mention the interest rates you're getting here. And with this, you get a, large and quick market overview of everything you need to know. The links to all platforms, including the bonus that you don't get with the regular registration, but only through our links, can be found below in the video description, as well as my, personal reviews of each platform with all the details and my visits to all the platforms. Let's start with the first platform, Debitum. Debitum is the only one of our top 10 platform that specializes in business loan offerings. We are with 12 to 14% interest and was founded in 2018, which leads to 10 points here. With 18,000 investors, however, they only get 1 out of the possible 5 points here in the second criteria. And in my opinion, they should have more investors due to their very good track record and punctual payments, except for the 1.8% loans of the total loan portfolio, which come from Ukraine, which are still being restructured here due to the war. Otherwise, everything was repaid perfectly with more than 14% return historically. The annual financial statements have been audited but show a loss of 358,000 euros, and Debitum is regulated by the Central Bank of Latvia and has all the features you need as an investor except for the secondary market. The solvency is very good. It gets full marks here because, you can't influence a war like the one in Ukraine, and work is continuing here on a solution. But this is made very difficult, you have to say, by martial law, because in this martial law in Ukraine, you can't withdraw any cash from the country, so also no repayments to investors. Debitum is doing very well in terms of growth, as can be seen here in the statistics for the investments and also the investor count. I give it a very good 81 points and have also more than 7,100 euros invested here myself and want to expand the investment significantly this year. The bonus link, visit to Debitum and the loan originator Bono Group, and my review are down in the description. We continue with Estateguru, the largest platform for real estate financing in all of Europe. Investors can currently earn a 9% return here, but that's before loan defaults, which we will come to in a moment and discuss intensely. They have audited annual financial statements, but they show a loss quite immense of 2.3 million euros. The platform is regulated by the Estonian financial regulator and has all the features you need as an investor. Estateguru was very popular for a long time, but the real estate crash, of the last few years has hit them very hard, we have to say. And as can be seen here, 37% of all outstanding loans have defaulted in the active markets and 70% of the inactive markets, which includes Germany, which is, completely unacceptable. So I'll have to give 0 points here, and I can give a maximum of 5 points for growth because things are currently looking better again with the default levels for 2023 and 2024. But the old loan defaults are simply too high also in my portfolio and have not yet been recouped. In total, that makes 55 points at a 9% interest rate before defaults. I'm continuing to reduce my investment here and won't stop doing so until we see much better results in the future. Next, we come to Monefit Smart Saver. Here we invest into loans from the Credit Star Group from these countries here in Europe. And this is the platform that is only, 3 years old, but is enjoying great popularity already with more than 18,000 investors investing an average of 9,100 euro, as we recently saw in these exclusive figures we got first. The parent company Creditstar Group has audited annual accounts showing a profit of 10.6 million euro, which is the highest amount in our entire rating today. Monefit itself is not regulated, but all lenders are in the respective countries, and as can be seen here, all features except the secondary market are available. I give 15 points for the solvency, as they had problems with paying punctually on Mintos in 2022 and 23, but they were also pretty able and quickly able to resolve these problems and never had any problems so far, and also none on Smart Saver in this time. The growth is currently very strong on Monefit due to the higher interest rates from Smart Saver at 7.25%, compared to the big competitor Bondora, and especially after the recent increase in interest rates to 10.5% for the 2-year vaults. I'll give 20 points here and a really good 79 points overall. The bonus link and my test, as well as my visit, in Tallinn, in the offices as the first one to do it, are all linked down below in the video description. Next up is the agricultural lending platform LANDE, which offers around 11% interest, sometimes up to 14%, and they have been active since 2020. Audited annual financial statements are available, but with a small loss of 73,000 euro. The platform is regulated by the Central Bank of Latvia and offers all the features you need as an investor. I give 15 points for the solvency, even if there currently are a few more defaults than usual in my portfolio, as can be seen right here. I have invested over 7,100 euros here, and the growth currently of the platform itself is looking better again, as can be seen in this blog post of record loans granted in December, but LANDE remains a small platform, we have to say, with fewer than 10,000 investors. That's really not a lot. Overall, that's 71 points at an 11% interest rate. You can find my entire review, visit to farmers from LANDE itself, and a bonus link in addition to the 2% cashback you're getting this year, linked in the video description down below. Next up is Bondora, founded in 2008, one of the oldest and most experienced peer-to-peer lending platforms in this entire review and on the market, with more than 226,000 investors. There is an audited annual report that shows a profit of 3.3 million euros, which is very strong, and Bondora's lenders in the respective countries are all regulated, but Bondora itself is not. This is important to know, as it's quite unusual with such big platforms with so many investors to not be regulated. The features are all, there, we have to say, and the solvency at the only product that counts, though, Go and Grow, is very good with its 6.75% interest, as all the investments are going into Go and Grow, honestly, which is also, paid out quite quickly if you need it on time, but Go and Grow, it remains a huge black box, where it has been unknown since 2018 how many loans are included in this portfolio, how high the liquidity buffer is, how many loans have, defaulted, how many loans have not, and so on and so forth, since with normal investing in Bondora loans, defaults are quite common, but so are high double-digit interest or even triple-digit interest. Another 10 points are given for growth, as Bondora is also, very large, but at the same time, as can be seen here in the blog post, is recording a very high new loan volume of 27 million euros per month, which was only 15 million 1 to 2 years ago, so that's a nice healthy growth. The link and test for Bondora are also down in the description below. Then we come to Swapper, which offers 14 to 16% interest on consumer loans per year. Founded in 2016, Swapper has more than 21,000 investors to date, and the parent company Ventus Finance Group, they show a small profit of 414,000 euros in its audited annual financial statements, as they continue to invest heavily into growth and new markets, as can be seen here on Ventus' website, with the growth of the group's loan portfolio to 16 million euros recently. Swapper itself is not regulated, but the lenders are all, and the features are available except for a broad international translation in many languages. I also include the secondary market as given, as the liquidity is high here, even if you cannot buy or sell at a premium or discount. Swapper's solvency was perfect, we have to say. There have been no problems yet on the platform with any repayments, and the platform is continuing to grow well, but not particularly strongly, even though it has ambitious plans for 2025, and I think they have a very strong base to get this momentum going. I invest 4,800 euro here and have been earning a very reliable 14 to 16% interest for years and years. My review and link to Swapper with an extra bonus can be found down below in the description. Then we come to the market leader, Mintos. Here you invest worldwide into consumer loans with interest rates of around 10%, although this can vary and fluctuate heavily. Founded in 2014, there are now more than 500,000 investors, many of whom are no longer active though, and Mintos Holding, the owner of the platform, reports a profit of 652,000 euros and is supervised by the Latvian Central Bank, so Mintos itself is supervised, not the holding. We have more than 10% defaulted loans here in my portfolio, even if the proportion, well, has fallen sharply again, as you can see from the defaulted loans during COVID, which have fallen again, but with many Russian lenders also included in my portfolio and also the portfolio of many other investors, we lose nearly half of everything we invested here into those, as can be seen here. And Wowwo from Turkey, where I also invested money, has also been out since 2021, but there will be no recovery here until the year 2025 or 2028. What a joke. Until then, inflation eats up an extremely large amount of the investment and it cannot multiply, while you might not even get everything back that you invested. People recommend Mintos for diversification, but I respectfully disagree due to the lengthy and often partial recoveries that have been, well, very rampant and occurring almost every year. That's why I personally use Mintos less and less and focus on what I consider to be better platforms in our rating today. Overall, that's 75 points with a 10% interest rate. Next, we come to PeerBerry, the lender of the so-called Ventus group, which is not a real group in my eyes. More on that in a moment. Founded in 2017, more than 96,000 investors are registered here, but to date there are no audited annual financial statements for the entire group, at least not for investors. Maybe there are some, but they are not public. And well, I don't think that will change in the future. I hope so, but I don't think it will. There are only reports for individual lenders, but not for the entire group, which leaves investors in the dark. And that's why we award 2 times 0 points, because of the lack of transparency in this very crucial regard. The lenders are regulated, we have to say, but the platform is not. All features except for the secondary market are available, and the solvency is very good due to the reserves of the group, well, and all obligations from the Ukrainian loans have been repaid, although no money can flow from there abroad due to the martial law I mentioned before with Debitum. After a downturn in the loan portfolio, PeerBerry is now stabilizing again at 117 million euros, but has reduced interest rates several times to just 8 to 10% per year, which is really not a lot for the risk we are taking here as investors. Nevertheless, all funds from Ukraine were repaid. One user notes here that this was done through the interest rate cuts. I don't know if that's satire or not, but even if the interest rates continue to fall, the repayment of this sum is an important milestone, as it has been over 50 million euros. Overall, that gives us 65 points at a 9% interest rate, and I personally don't invest on PeerBerry because of this low interest rate anymore. But, well, it's an important platform still for many people, and it has been shown to even pay when there are huge problems. This brings us to the first newcomer, which is Ventus Energy, which only started in autumn 2024, but is doing brilliantly, financing energy projects with very high interest rates of 18% plus cashback on top. I was also the first one to visit them on site. It was an extremely important and good visit, and I advise you to take a look here into this video if you're thinking of investing, linked down below also. I'm investing on Ventus with 6,600 euro, and as you can see here, there's a currently, well, high cashback again, 5%. You don't see that too often, which is also paid out directly to your account in addition to the extra bonus with the link down in the description below. Since the platform is not even 6 months old, there can be no points here yet, as they do not have any annual financial statements. This is a project for investors who want, well, more interest and are prepared to invest a few thousand euros for this additional interest, because as you can see here with this project, for example, 1,000 euros is always the minimum investment required. I'm personally investing 2,000 into this one. And what is more important here at Ventus, that all projects have a very, very detailed descriptions and are already generating strong cash flow and are often already also profitable. There are no features like an auto invest here, just a text report, but so far Ventus, well, is doing very well, has paid everyone on time, growing very quickly, and I'm very excited where it goes with this one, also because I've invested quite a lot, at least for my portfolio. At the moment, however, I can only give 52 points due to the missing features with an 18% interest rate. This brings us to the last platform, Viainvest, where we finance consumer loans with 11 to 13% interest rate per year. Founded in 2016, there are now more than 42,000 active investors, and there are audited annual financial statements, but only those for 2022. It is now 2025, and the report for 23 is not even available. That's really absurd in my opinion, and that's why I deduct 5 points at this point. Viainvest is regulated by the Latvian Central Bank and there's no secondary market or, well, plenty international translations, they are also not available. The solvency, even during the crisis of COVID, was perfect though on the other side, and we give 15 points for growth because the loan volume, well, is developing very positively. But without current figures from the company, we cannot give full marks here. I think that's pretty clear. In total, that's 79 points. It could be much more very easily at a 12% interest rate. You can find my review and link in the description down below, as well as on the next platform, which is a bonus platform. Maclear from Switzerland is platform number 11 out of 10. And like Debitum, they offer business loans with slightly higher interest rates of 14 up to 19%, which is too high risk for me, honestly, in this case. There's a very experienced team behind Maclear, but the platform is still very young, we have to say, even though the team behind it is heavily experienced and it's a regulated platform in a Swiss environment, and they have real assets such as machines behind each and every loan. I don't want to talk too long about them because we, well, want to come to the conclusion, but it's worth taking a look here if you're already on the established platforms to diversify a little bit and to potentially get a much higher interest rates. So we're coming to our conclusion. Debitum won our top 10 peer-to-peer lending platform comparison with a very strong 81 points, as can be seen here, a very good platform with strong interest rates and very low defaults. This is followed directly by Monefit Smart Saver with 79 points with its flexible products and the vaults, which will, well, have to become more transparent in the future when it comes to the loan portfolio that's included here if they continue to grow like this. And they share this second place with Viainvest, which also got 79 points and offer a 12% interest rate. As I say, you can find my detailed reviews, on-site visits and bonus links down in the description below. After that, Swapper, Bondora and Mintos follow each other very closely with very different offers though, before we come to LANDE, which is the last platform to score more than 70 points. Then PeerBerry and Maclear follow before we come to Estateguru and Ventus Energy at the end. Maclear and Ventus are still very young though and will likely climb up in the rating soon based on their annual financial statements alone. So this is how I rate the top 10 or 11 best peer-to-peer lending platforms. What is the best platform for you? Who should be better or worse in the rating? Tell me down below in the comments. I look forward to the discussion and wish you a good return. Until the next time.